Welcome, Galaxy fans. I am Jim the Eternal, and I am here to reveal Queen Harpolia as a spoiler for the upcoming Candylar set 2 for Once Upon a Galaxy. Personally, really excited. Thanks. Shoutouts to Million Dreams for giving me this card to reveal, and I'm just really glad to be a part of the community, and we'll get through it. So, here we are. Here's Queen Harpolia. Before I move on from this screen, I want to take a look at the art because I think the art is pretty cool. So if you look at the general art on the left side versus the actual card art on the right, there's a little bit more detail there. But even in the card art on the right, there's like the subtle touches of, like, you can see the hunter's horn in the dog's hand. You can see the genie's lamp in the cat. The pig is holding on to the bread roll, the one that gives you the free Lost in the Woods every turn. So I think that's a really nice touch for the art. All of the treasures that are showing up from the other cards. So I guess the question is, what do you think this card does based on what we're seeing here? Well, I'm not going to keep you in suspense for too long. So let's immediately move on to the reveal. Here we go. Here is Queen Harpolia, one of the new captains in Candylar. When you get a treasure, give characters in your shop +1/+1 for each treasure you've got this turn. So I think this is a really cool effect. On the surface of it, it kind of compares similarly to the collector. It is a bonus for every treasure you collect, where the collector scales your board, making your board bigger, but also kind of disincentivizing you from buying units from the shop. This is the reverse. This scales your shop, which heavily incentivizes you to replace your board, which is now going to be smaller than the units that are coming up in your next shop. I have confirmation that the way this works is any treasures that you get in combat count towards your next shop, so you can scale that way by getting treasures in combat. And like early on, I think this is going to be one of those sort of mid-game captains, because early on it's going to be hard to get treasures. It's going to be hard to make your shop much bigger than it is. You'll get like a +1/+1 here and there, maybe if you get some cool quest units. But then in the mid-game, you can kind of scale up a lot with units that'll give you treasure mid-combat, right? And we've seen stuff like Mechanical Dragon and Ironcast Dragon already as additional sources of treasures, but there are a bunch of cards that show up in the new set that are providing that same kind of bonus. So these are cards that have already been spoiled. This is nothing new. But Blackjack gives you treasure every time it survives damage in a fight. Mr. Fox is another source of hunting treasure, just like the Pirate Drake in the base set. Sunflare Glider, whenever you collect a treasure, get an additional Dragon's Claw. So any treasure that you get just counts for twice, which is great. That's a lot of additional scaling. And then Gingerbread Dragon, whenever I'm attacked, get a treasure of the attacker's rarity. So starting in the rare slot, it suddenly becomes really, really easy to collect multiple treasures over the course of a turn. And obviously with a collector, that works really well in just making your board bigger. With Queen Harpolia, this is just going to scale your next shop. So your next shop, every unit in the shop is going to be +3/+3/+4/+4, however many treasures you get. So I think this is a really cool addition to the captains that we have available. I suspect it's not going to be quite as powerful as some of the other scaling captains, since this only scales the next shop. This makes your next shop more powerful and gives you a bunch of additional purchasing power for your next turn. But you're still going to have to find something else to scale you, past that, right? It's not going to be as powerful as something like Jay Sparrow making all of your hunts double. It's not going to be quite as powerful long-term as something like Athena or Melody or Lil Genie, where the bonuses from the captain scale in themselves. But this does mean you're going to have some really, really strong turn 6, turn 7, turn 8 boards if you play within this strategy. And also, this is a perfect lead-in to just play dragons in general, right? Anything with Treasure Hoard is going to work so well with this captain because you're just double dipping. So anyway, there you go. This is the new captain, Queen Harpolia. I hope you are as excited as I am to play with this new captain and the new set. Go check out Once Upon a Galaxy if you haven't already. I don't know how you found this if you're not already a fan of Once Upon a Galaxy. But if you haven't already checked out Once Upon a Galaxy, go check out galaxy.fun and check out the game. And hopefully I'll see you then.